Mr. Sultan tell you about getting where you need to go. There's one way you get to where you need to go, and that's by following the evidence in this case. You've heard all the evidence now. You will be the ones who are going to find the facts, and you will draw the inferences that you deem to be appropriate from those facts, and apply the law. And if you do that, you get to where you need to go, which is to find the defendant guilty of having murdered Odin Lloyd. I'm going to take you back to that Friday and Saturday morning, June 14th and the 15th. You've heard, we have the text messages and you know the nature of the relationship this time. This was an unplanned event. The defendant was coming by to pick up marijuana. And after picking up marijuana, they ended up, Odin jumped in with him, they drove to the club room. We know what happened at room, at least I'm going to just ask you to consider. There was a problem at room. Odin Lloyd had friends who were also at the room nightclub that night. It was a birthday party. I think 4 or 5 of them showed up. They were there in the course of the night, and again, I'm going to ask you throughout the course of deciding this case, looking at the evidence, look for corroboration. You don't have to look at this one person. I'm not suggesting you do that. Look for the corroboration in the other evidence, whether it's video, whether it's phone records, whether it's witness testimony, photographs. Look for corroboration at every step of the way and corroborate what we're suggesting the evidence will show you. So he's at the Rumor nightclub, and what do you have in front of you? Kwame Nicholas, that's testimony. You get to consider that. You get to weigh that however you wish. That's your function. That's what we've asked you to do. But think of Kwame Nicholas, the photograph from that Jose Cruz, where the defendant is bending down, and just who happens to be in that photograph with his eyes beating on the defendant? We know he's there. We know he's in that location. We know that Odin's other friends are there.
And we know it's not suggesting that the prosecution knows anything at all. What inferences you may draw. So that's, you know, to use that word, we know expression.
Folks, the evidence, that's what I'm referring to, the evidence has shown you who's there. You saw it in video, you see it in photograph. Odin Lloyd's there, Kwame Nicholas is there, these friends are there, and the defendant is there. And he's in a position where he can see the defendant. The defendant is alone. You heard the testimony of him being alone. And from the witness testimony of Casey Norman, what do we hear? His behavior changes at some point. It changes in a way at one point. He's very charming, I think she said, to a point where he becomes aggressive at the end. He appears to be upset about something. And do you remember the point when she said at some point, he said to her, "You should be grateful I'm showing you attention." And I want you to consider that, because part of the evidence, not to show the defendant bad character, as Mr. Sultan suggested, consider his attitude, how he was behaving, what he was saying, how he was acting. That's important to understand what might seem insignificant to somebody else. Disrespect, to be upset about something that maybe wouldn't matter. This defendant, Aaron Hernandez, he, remember from Mr. Bradley, took him a long time to trust people. He didn't want his business on. Well, you've heard he brought Odin in, in some respects, and we'll go through the nature of the relationship. He now has Odin getting marijuana for him. And so he has come by, has picked up marijuana. He has this other associate, Roberto Oliveras, in the car, the third man that goes to the club. And now he gets to the club, and what does he find? Odin Lloyd goes off to spend time with his friends. And you hear testimony about how his behavior then changed at that time. Now again, going back to the corroboration, look at the photograph there, and the place of where you heard the testimony about that, it would be reasonable for you to think, based on the evidence, that he now feels disrespected because Odin Lloyd should be spend time with the defendant. That's what he says that night. At the same time that his behavior begins to change. And then ask yourself this. When he leaves that club, how is he behaving? Forget the witness testimony. You get to see the video. What does that video show you? The video shows you, as they're leaving, remember, he was maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead of Odin Lloyd, and then the next video that picks him up, the W Hotel video, he's down the street. Odin's not around. He's throwing up his hands, and he's walking away, and as he's turning around, he's saying something. And what did Kwame say he heard? Go talk to the other guy, Roberto Oliveros. And then there's this long pause of time between where you then see Odin Lloyd come back into that video. And when next do you see him, the defendant, Aaron Hernandez, has already gone around the corner. And ask yourself this. There are 2 occasions that this guy, the defendant, and Odin Lloyd actually got together without the girls, the sisters, in this sort of a familial setting. 2 times. Early morning, Saturday morning. And what happens? The defendant goes back to his car, and he says he doesn't have a cell phone. Well, we know that's not true. How do you know that? Not because I'm saying it, because the evidence is showing you that. Remember Jeff London, the guy who got into the club, bought a drink? He said, I saw him in there with a cell phone. How else do we know that? Well, we offered you phone records. We showed you the time of the video when he went in the club. And then we offered you his phone records that show the call that occurs after that time. He's got a cell phone. So he's making false statements about why he's going to get to the car. Why does he get to the car? We heard testimony. He goes in, opens the door, and then as Samson Michael comes alongside and looks through the side, what does he see him doing? He's got adjusting his shirt now. He can see the handle of a gun. Is that shocking to us based on the other evidence? You heard that he has access to a firearm that night? One that's described just like the one in the video, just like the ones that the maids have seen. Is that not to be believed? And then Samson Michael, who's the head of the valets at the W Hotel, is put up on the stand and was examined by the Senate. We don't really know what we saw. He knew enough to say to Jeff Keene, I think that guy's got a gun. He didn't know who he was. He wasn't going to get any special treatment by Samson Michael. He said what he saw. What evidence do you have of that? Well, the video shows on the corner, you see then Jeff Keene come over and he stands there and he's watching him for about 5 minutes. He pointed himself out where he was. And so ask yourself this. The first occasion that these friends are going out, lined up with this behavior from the defendant in the club, leaving Odin Lloyd, going down and arming himself with a gun, and then coming back to the corner. And ask yourself this. There's testimony about the friends as they came out. Look at the video. What direction? Look at that photograph when he's got his back up against the mailbox or the box, the electrical box down there. Looking back at the street. Where did we see the friends of Odin Lloyd come out? They came out right in that area. They ultimately went the other way. He stands there for whatever time you credit the witness testimony or the video. He stands there and he's looking up the street. And they ask, why do people hang out and mill about there? Not him. He doesn't do that. Casey Arma? No. Jeff Keene? No, we haven't seen him doing that before. And so ask yourself this. What motive? What causes somebody to go arm themselves? What small thing in the evidence? The look? Being disrespected? I take you to a club and you're not grateful enough to be hanging out with me, you're going to go hanging out with your other friends? And so they ultimately leave. And they drive out to the Franklin Street apartment. And at Franklin Street apartment, what happens? You hear they come in, and fairly quickly, the defendant goes to a back bedroom, and then he calls in Jennifer Fortier. And Consider his attitude during the ride out to Franklin. Can I get we'll give you a ride to the car. No ride to the car. We start driving to Franklin. Hey, I'm the babysitter. I've got to get out here. You're okay, you're okay. And doesn't that sound remarkably similar to the pickup of old Lloyd in the early morning hours of the 17th, and then the long drive that brings him to Corliss Landing? You're okay, you're okay. You're with the defendant. He's going to do what he wants. We have heard that throughout this case. Sean Jenkins, the relationship. He does what he wants. He's used to doing what he wants. And so on this night, they get to the Franklin apartment, calls the babysitter alone, tries to kiss her. She says, I'm the babysitter. And when she goes back there, she says, oh, he's sleeping. He's sleeping on the couch. What's the next thing that happens? The next morning, he's got his mother, his girlfriend, his fiance, and his child waiting to go to breakfast. He sends that text message. I want to suggest to you that's important. What do we know based on all the other evidence, all the other testimony about him? Secrecy? That whole apartment was meant to be secret. Right? You got that? He wanted that to be a place when he came in. He had his hood on. You heard testimony about that. And so he now sends a text message saying, I somehow told her about the spot. Obviously, that's suggesting he has some concern about that. Do you think, despite what Shauna Jenkins, you'll evaluate her testimony and assess whatever credibility you want to give that, do you think the fact that his nanny, his babysitter, was involved, the spot, I asked Shauna Jenkins about the spot. We have a conversation, I didn't see anything necessarily unusual about the spot. I don't remember having any conversation about that. Do you think that Odin Lloyd now knows more than he knew? He now knows the marijuana is one thing. He now knows about the spot. He now knows about the babysitter, the defendant, the babysitter back there. Would that be of a concern to somebody having that learned? Again, would that be a reason to want that information not to be out there? I'm going to suggest to you that that would be most reasonable that information will be out there. So the text message is sent, they come back, and what happens from there? Well, look at the phone records. Out to breakfast, back, and then after breakfast, there's phone calls that start to Ernest Wallace. And they begin in the morning, and they go into the next day, approximately 30 of them. And the text message that comes at 3:15 in the afternoon, when are you coming back, my ninja? Now, this is Ernest Wallace, the guy who's been living in the basement, or stays in the basement, the guy who's been involved with there's firearm, he stays in the basement, there's firearm that's been observed under the mattress by the cleaning ladies. And he's also the guy who is essentially the right-hand man with the cars, with the trips, traveling with them. They go to California. They're out in California. Look at the records of Ernest Wallace. He's also calling Oscar Hernandez. And we know that's when, and that occurs right at the end of April, when the guns then, the gun of the Gian Jackson is then shipped sometime after April 25th, 26th, 27th, in that window. And look at the phone records that are going from there. And you'll see that during the time when the money is then deposited into the account of Oscar Hernandez, soon after that, the car is then aligned onto a to a transport company and then is shipped out. And ask yourself now, so when he's sending the text, when he coming back on Ninja, and then the calls that follow from that, 30 phone calls over the course, and again, you can look at the calls, not all those calls connected, but there's this back and forth. And so, now we're into Sunday, Father's Day, and the suggestion, we're going out to dinner down into Providence. And they leave, and you saw the video when they left. consultant had read at 9:02. So they now, the video, you can look at that, approximately 8:58 they pull out of the driveway. The defendant's driving. They're driving to Providence, and at 9:02, Hernandez to Wallace, please make it back because I'm definitely trying to step for a little. Now, step for a little, again, the prior suggestion about stepping, about going down, presumably, although the suggestion that doesn't necessarily mean to a club, I think we all can agree it didn't mean to go to a vacant field in the middle of North Attleboro to step for a little bit. So, 9:03, Wallace back to Hernandez, K. 9:05, he then texts Odin Lloyd, and he says, I'm coming to grab that tonight, you're going to be around, I need that, we could step for a little again. And you have to ask yourself, was it really marijuana that he was interested in getting that night? If the suggestion is that 30 pounds in the basement, he obviously didn't need to meet up with Odin Lloyd that night to get marijuana. As he's now getting to Providence, there's a response from Lloyd, and at 9:37, he says, okay, where? And he then follows it up. The defendant says, I don't know, it don't matter, but I'm going to hit you when I'm that way like last time. If my phone dies, I'll hit you when I charge it, which will be in a while. And at that time, excuse me, now at this time, 9:35, the tenor has changed with regard to text messages about having Wallace and Ortiz come up. 9:35, Hernandez to Wallace, get your ass up here. If I don't answer, call Shay. And Shayna's number is given. 10:21, Ortiz responds, on our way, A, God bless. 10:22, Hernandez to Ortiz, bet, hurry up, tell Fish to drive, nigga. 10:23, Hernandez to Wallace, hurry your ass up, nigga. 10:24, Wallace to Hernandez, K. 10:24, Ortiz to Hernandez, he is. So suddenly, there's this need to have Wallace and Ortiz back up to meet with Aaron Hernandez. And you have to ask yourself, if there was really an interest in having Odin Lloyd meet up, that he would have done the same thing, right? Odin Lloyd now has the Suburban. He could have just then sent the text and said, you know what, I'm having dinner, meet us back at North Attleboro. But he doesn't. And that's the question for you is, what is the purpose of why he wants to meet up with Odin Lloyd that night? Is it about marijuana, or is it about the remnant of what had happened the other day at the Rumor Club, and now because he doesn't trust him? Well, we know during the course of that meal that he's spending much of his time on the phone. And as much as there were suggestions about what they were talking about, the kinds of conversation, he's outside the South Street Cafe smoking marijuana. He's on, the phone records show that there's now 16 additional phone calls. At 10:24, after he has confirmed that Fish and Carlos Ortiz are on their way, he stops using his phone. And I asked Shayna Jenkins about that. I said, did his phone die? And she said, no, it was just off, or she said it was off. Well, this wasn't the first time that the phone conveniently would be off or be used to give him a reason to use another phone. You'll remember Robert Paradise. His phone was then, when they were out in California, was used when the defendant didn't want to be detected, used to make a phone call to Oscar Hernandez about when, at the same time that that shipment of the car was being shipped up, and that you could find, based on the evidence with the transfer of the money, with the fact that the gun that was then described later in the home, the small silver and black firearm, the .22 caliber that was connected back to Gian Jackson, was shipped in that car. The valet, I had indicated to you that he had previously used this claim that he didn't have his cell phone with the valet. Brian McDonough, you heard his testimony. He was the trainer. And he was the individual who he was supposed to go on Monday afternoon for a training session and ended up not showing up. And then later sent a text saying he had lost, this is the defendant, lost phone, just got a new one, didn't know how to get hold of you, or no one, LOL, I'm sorry, and won't leave you hanging again. I'll be there tomorrow, 1:45. I'm sorry, see you tomorrow. Well, no, that wasn't true either. So the phone goes off at 10:24. The statements he's in the past has lied about what phone he had or didn't have. We know that's not true. Strike that. You know that's not true from the evidence based on the records that show the same IMEI, the serial number, was then used later on that day. But for the first time, this phone goes off at 10:24, and it stays off for a 22-hour period. You have, I believe, it's 2,200 pages of phone records going back to January. And you can go through those records, and you'll find there was only one time those days were off, and that was the 3 days when they were in Mexico, that there was that stretch of time where that phone wasn't used. So you have to ask yourself, why is the defendant not using his phone at this time? Why does he begin to use Shayana Jenkins' phone? Well, I'm going to suggest to you because the plan is in play. The plan is in play now because there's 16 follow-up phone calls on Shayana Jenkins' phone. He has now got these guys come up, and he actually then responds back to the home. He has, I think Mr. Fee was questioning people, well, why would he use his credit card? Why would he pose for a picture? Well, you remember Robert Kraft? He testified what the defendant said about where he was at the time of the murder. You have to ask yourself first, how would he know about the time of the murder unless he was present? Well, today, Mr. Sultan suggests, well, maybe he was present at the scene, maybe somebody else did this crime without his knowledge. Ask yourself, he's giving a false alibi. He's already put himself at the club. He's already got a credit card receipt. He's already taken a photo, and now he's saying, get your ass up here, and he wants to meet them back at the house. Well, what is important about that when we return back to the house? One, he gets out of the car, and you saw that video, and I'm going to ask if that could just be played. On the arrival now back at 22 Ronald C. Meyer, and just watch the defense as he gets out of the car. He's already got the gun. He's got the gun in his hand, and as he walks down, he ends up meeting with Ortiz. He's got the gun in his hand. Ortiz doesn't appear to be, he's walking right along behind him. There's no effort to hide it. You can go to the next one where he goes in the home. Now as he comes through, again, this idea, it's not a clicker, it's not an airsoft gun. As he comes through the house, what does he do? He sees the babysitter, and he actually takes that gun and he switches over his hand. He's already got the gun. He's already got the gun in his hand. And where do they go? Well, he comes in, and you heard from the witness testimony, he goes upstairs to the bedroom. Well, the house cleaners had testified that they observed that other gun, the J.N. Jackson gun, that 22 caliber Hernandez, upstairs, that was in his pants pocket where they were cleaning up. Where was one of the other guns? That was also upstairs. The black gun that's consistent with the gun he's holding in his hand. Where does Wallace go? Wallace goes down to the basement. If we could cue that up, please. Wallace goes down to the basement, and within a few minutes comes up with a bag. We know Wallace that's normally where he stays. He comes up with a bag, and you have to ask yourself, what is going on where there's an agreement to, okay, we're going to step out tonight, we're going to go out to a club or get together, do something, have some drinks, as Mr. Sultan said, chase women, Aaron Hernandez liked to have a few drinks and chase women. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. They get back there, and then there's this 20 to 25 minutes of preparation that people go into different parts of the house, coming back with different items, and then getting into the finally getting in the car at about 1:09 in the morning to finally leave. All the while, had they wanted to see Odin Lloyd to step out, if that was just a phone call away or a text away, hey, come on out here, we're running late. If they had any interest in going to a club, the clubs, as you heard, close at 2 a.m. So now we're at 1:09. So the idea of trying to get to a club before the closing, does that happen? Of course not, because that's not part of the plan. They get in the car, they leave Meyer, and where do they go? They actually drive south on Route 95. And what's in that direction? We heard about Roddy Oliveras, his friend who was at the South Street Cafe. Apparently he provided the defendant with marijuana. They drive down to an area, we know the evidence would show that from the records, that it hits a cell tower at Collins Street. And you might remember, at the very beginning of this case, we took a drive of the View. And we went to Collins Street Tower, right off 95, near the Rhode Island border. What was the next town that you heard through the testimony? Central Falls. So they go down to that location, and then we know, then the records would show, and the evidence supports, you finding that sometime around 1:30 in the morning, they finally head north. Now, the video shows when they left, Thomas Wallace is driving. But like many things in this case, you have to ask yourself, who is in control? Who has set this up? Who's the one who's now lined up to meet Odin Lloyd in the early morning hours? Thomas Wallace is driving. As they head north, and again, tower to tower, there was evidence in the records and also in the mapping. 122, they're in the Collins Street area. The testimony was, in terms of the drive time, was about a half hour to get to the Blue Hills Express. They go by the tower in Foxborough at 1:52. 8 minutes later, consistent with that route of travel, they get to the Blue Hills. The defendant is now driving to the Blue Hills. The defendant gets out, and he does the pumping of the gas. And I think it was Mr. Fee, or why would he be using his credit card if he's planning a murder? They need gas. Wallace has come up with this car, and obviously the car doesn't have enough gas. We know he doesn't have any money. The evidence showed you that when they went in, the testimony by the clerk, they got a pack of bubble gum and a cigar, and they didn't have enough money. It was 99 cents, $1.29, and they ultimately, between the defendant and Ortiz, gave $2 in cash. He has to use the credit card there. They then leave from the Blue Hills. The defendant is driving. The defendant is the one who drives over to Faiston Street. He's the one who's been there before. He was there the other night, early morning, Saturday morning, when he met him to go to the Rumor Club. Picks him up on the street, cell tower to cell tower. At 224, they get off at exit 18. The distance, they move their way through the city. The route they take is corroborated by locations of surveillance. Who is Odin Lloyd? What is the evidence of what Odin Lloyd's thinking at this time? I'd suggest to you that the evidence shows he wasn't anticipating there would be two other people in the car. That evidence was from his sister, who was sitting on the street and saw him start to walk to the passenger, and you have the evidence of the video itself that shows him then heading in that direction and he moves to the back seat. We can play that close. Shows when the door opened, you see the three individuals in the car, including the defendant, who's now in the driver's seat. He picks up Odin Lloyd at 2:32 to 2:33 in the morning. From this point, they then travel back through the city, and again, leaving essentially electronic footprint through the course of the city, either by way of surveillance footage or by way of the data that's coming off of Odin Lloyd's phone. And that data showed that they went toward the Mass Pike, and then over a series of data points at the Back Bay, Fenway, Alston, North Brighton, Watertown, they arrived at the Weston Toll at 2:53 in the morning. The drive time, you heard from Trooper Dumont, indicated that time from Fayston Street to the Weston Toll was 20 minutes. Consistent in time with that direction of travel. The car is now moving from Fayston Street towards that North Attleboro. And you have to ask yourself this. Odin Lloyd had earlier in the evening confirmed that he was going to be working the next morning. This is now 2:30 in the morning. He's heading in a direction away from Fayston Street and actually ultimately going south on 95 by Norwood where he worked and heading toward North Attleboro. Again, no reason to think that he wouldn't have just, as he had already had the rental car, that he would have not been in a position to return the rental car by meeting first in North Attleboro and then returning it the following day. But what the evidence has shown is that just at the same time, approximately 3:07 in the morning, and when you look at the data, the records that relate to the data, just as the vehicle started going south on 95, so breaking away from 128, Odin Lloyd sends a series of text messages that indicate his location. Now at 3:07, 3:11, 3:22, and 3:23. That series is now just as he's breaking south on 95 and as they're heading toward North Attleboro. And during the course of those series of text messages, the records from the cell tower information indicate that he's now gone to exit 5 and he's going up John Deach Boulevard. 3:23, when that last text message is shown, you saw the video of metal ore. And that's just as that car, the ultimate driven by the defendant, now driving down John Deach Boulevard and goes into Corliss Lane. Ask yourself this. You're not to speculate in the case on the evidence and about what somebody might want to believe or suggest to you. Ask yourself, first of all, what was the purpose in going to, and I'm going to suggest to you, was the most ideal place to commit a murder. This open field in the North Attleboro Industrial Park, you heard it, it's an industrial park, business, nobody's around. You can see that on the video, no traffic, it's dark, it's now almost 3:25 in the morning. Driving to a location that's a wide open field, surrounded, first of all, the topography, it goes up and then it goes down in the back. You heard a number of witnesses testify about when they arrived, the police witnesses when they arrived, actually how far they actually had to go down to be able to see where the body of Odin Lloyd was ultimately found. And ask yourself, what was the purpose in driving to that spot at that time? The midpoint between Landry Avenue and John Deach Boulevard, driving down, turning the car around, and all of a sudden, a murder occurs. Who's driving? Who knows the area? Well, we know he knows the area because he lives there, and he actually drove. He was driving. He's the one who veered off the course to go down. There was no other purpose to go down there. They weren't stepping out. He was 2 minutes from his home, as you heard in the evidence. And then ask yourself this. Look at the nature of this murder. The car pulls down there. 4 people in the car. Odin Lloyd's in the rear passenger seat. We know Odin Lloyd, at some point, began to get out of the car. There's fingerprint evidence that you heard from Trooper Mannequin. Ernest Wallace's 2 fingers, the ring and middle finger, on the inside window of Odin Lloyd's door. On the handle is Carlos Ortiz. His fingerprints were on that handle. And I want you to consider where the shot was fired in that car. You have evidence of that. The shell casings under the front seat. you heard testimony about the ejection of a shell casing, and that would be to the rear of where the shots fired. That shell casing landed in the front of this defendant's seat. And at that time, that shot being fired, consider the evidence came through the medical examiner about where that first shot, I'm going to suggest to you that the evidence you can find where the first shot was through the right flank of Overloyd as he got out of the car after the door being opened for him by Wallace pushing it from the front seat with his fingers, Ortiz opening the door in the back, and he takes the first shot right in his right flank. At that point, we know, although it was a fatal shot within minutes, he began to move away from the door. We know that because of the distance from that. Ortiz couldn't have fired that shot because remember the Grice test in terms of what was found in the clothing? This was outside of that distance. Ortiz would have been sitting right next to him to have made that shot outside the car, and that would have suggested within the 5 feet range that there would have been Grice testing on that clothing. First shot. At this time, Overloyd is now moving away from the car. Who do we know is out of the car? We know this defendant's out of the car. Gets out of the car, and he plants his footprint right alongside where those tire tracks are, right alongside where the car is. And guess where his foot is oriented? To the rear. And where did the shell casings then begin? Along the back side of the car, or around the back, and right at the left side of Overloyd's feet. There was about 3-4 feet. With the pictures, you can look at that. That trail of shell casings then begins from there, and consistent with now the closer shots, which you'll find from the Grice testing of Overloyd's next shot being in his arm. Grice testing positive. Then, as he begins to duck down, the next shot through, Grice tests positive on the hood. That's the one that goes through the clavicle and out the back. And then as he's ducking down, the one that is shot from the back of the neck and runs through down along his spine. He's now been disabled. He's laying on the ground. There's 2 final shots that are put into him. The first one I would suggest you could find was to the right side of the chest. How could you find that? Because that's the one that went through the pericardium and hit a portion of the heart. And that blood then began to pour out into his chest cavity. And where do you find his hand? His hand is now, at the time of his body's discovery, right up over his chest. Right where that hole is, and there's blood-soaked clothing there. The next shot to the other side, no blood. As the doctor had described, the blood wouldn't be able to pump to the extremities. It would start pumping into the cavity. This time, there's the retreat. Back to the car, they leave the scene. Now the defendant drives the car back, takes everybody back to his house, and perfect spot to have killed somebody, no eyewitnesses, right? I mean, the killers. Ear witnesses, 2 people who pretended who heard the gunfire. Excuse me. And nearby Needleton. They hear approximately, they're on the break between 3 and 3:30, and one of the witnesses indicates in terms of time, they went out around 3:10, and he said within 10 minutes of that, shots. But again, the evidence now establishing that the defendant, through what I'll refer to as electronic witnesses, the surveillance, the cell phones, the cell towers, showed this defendant and his 2 confederates at the scene. Killing occurred. He drives to the scene. He's provided the gun to the scene. He's provided the pretext to get Overloyd in the car, and immediately drives to that scene where Overloyd is then executed. They drive home. You're going to be asked to consider the evidence of joint venture. The video. Watch the video. And what does the video show when they arrive home? Who's the leader of the group? Who's the person who gets out of the car and is now looking in the air of the front seat. The person who shot the gun obviously knows there's a potential for a showcasing. He looks around, runs around in the front seat, ultimately comes inside. He leads them through, he opens the door, leads them through the house. He then shushes them, tells them to be quiet. You see that on the video as he leads them over to the basement and down to the basement. The defendant with the gun beforehand, the defendant with the gun afterwards. That video that was shown before, remember when it was shown, there was an iPad on the door, that last frame that was shown, you saw the gun alongside that wasn't shown during Mr. Silver's. But you have the video that's shown as he went down the basement stair after he had gone upstairs in terms of who had the gun. And you remember with Kyle Aspinwall trying to suggest that this item in the hand of Carlos Ortiz at that time was the gun. He said, no, it's inconsistent with the gun. It was more round shape, consistent with the cell phone. The defendant's the one who has the gun. What happens from there? Well, they all go down the basement. The surveillance is now disabled. The defendant's surveillance system disabled at 3:40 in the morning. They ultimately go to sleep. The next morning, the video comes on. You see a basement video. I'm going to ask you to look at that video and consider this. The behavior of these three individuals after what's just been a homicide, a murder, an execution in the field, and just look at the way in which they're interacting with each other and their behavior. And ask whether that appears to be consistent with anybody who appears to be upset with what's happened just some number of hours before. And ask yourself, the suggestion that one of these other guys spontaneously did something. This defendant has his 8-month-old infant and is handing it at different times, handing that child, the little girl, to Wallace, apparently the guy who now they want to suggest, the crazy man who killed his friend, Odin Lloyd, some number of hours before, handing the child over. And then they go out to during the course of the day now. They're eating, they're hanging out, and while the body of Odin Lloyd, his friend, is now entering those initial stages of decomposition out in the field at Corliss Landing, they're at the pool. The defendant is in the pool. He's got the child at some point. He remembers, oh, geez, I've got stuff in the car. He then leaves Carlos Ortiz with the baby in the pool. The other crazy man that spontaneously might just kill somebody, he's leaving his small child with Carlos Ortiz. He goes out now through the house. He comes out of the pool, works his way to the car. What does he do? He goes over and he grabs what Kyle Aspinwall indicated appeared to be a clip that's shown in this video. Another video that you'd see where later both the defendant and Wallace come back and want to inspect exactly where Odin Lloyd had been sitting, the seat. They open the door. Now, why are they interested in looking there? Well, they know Odin Lloyd has been shot right in that area. And they're going to be returning this car. Make sure that there's no evidence there. So they look, they check, guess what? He was outside of the car when he got shot. There's no evidence there. So the car door is closed, and later on, this car is returned. Through the course of the afternoon, again, maybe it was maybe you found it boring testimony to watch the video and sitting in the pool around the house in those hours that followed. That's important video because it shows the three of them, the nature of the joint venture is still intact. Nobody seems to be upset. They're all hanging out. I think Shannon Jenkins said they're out in the sun and she's bringing smoothies to them. And this now is a suggestion somehow that one of these other guys killed Odin Lloyd, and it was spontaneous and they didn't expect it, and yet everything else about his conduct on that video is inconsistent with that. And then in further furtherance of the joint venture, the defendant, they then returned the car. Now, the one thing about the car is, when it goes back, we know it wasn't the same as when it started. And I ask you to consider this as well. Plan, getting to Oberoi, picking him up. When he picked him up, that mirror on the driver's side was intact. We know by the time he came pulling in, the mirror now is broken. And I ask you to consider that mirror didn't get broken at Corliss Landing. You heard evidence. They looked. There was no mirror found there. There was no broken glass, no broken plastic. There was nothing there to break it. So what does that say to you about what happened, what transpired on the drive home from after picking up Oberoi and bringing him to Corliss Landing? Just in that stretch of time, there was an occasion where they pulled in somewhere and caused that mirror to break. A suggestion: why would you bring somebody back to a spot so close to your house? There's evidence they pulled in to a different location, and for whatever reason, that didn't happen. The mirror got broken, and consider the evidence, scratches on both sides of the car. And then also, the soil. There was soil taken from the wheel well. And that soil was different than the soil that was recovered at the scene. Remember, the woman from the FBI came in to actually say the soil was different in terms of texture and just in those the flakes of mica that was in the soil that's recovered there. There was a prior opportunity or occasion where they attempted to pull over in some of the location, breaking the mirror and bringing him there. So is this really spontaneous? Is this unknown to the defendant? He has no knowledge of it. He's the driver. He's the guy in control of the car. These are the two guys who've been described as he picks up the phone and calls, they come. Remember Bradley? He got a flat tire, they were somewhere, calls, they come, they pick him up. Watch the video. Who's in control of the movements, where they're moving through the house? He is. In terms of when they're coming out of the car, in terms of what they're doing in the house, he's in control. He then takes this car back, and now he's making up lies to Keely Smith about what's happened. Oh, what happened? Oh, geez, I don't know. I was just parked out from my house, and I came out this morning. It was like that. Not true. We know that's not true. There's no evidence of broken mirror out in front of the house. Why is he lying?
Again, with respect to the we knows, the prosecutor doesn't know what the truth is.
Let's go to what appeared maybe initially, and it's a suggestion of a shoddy police investigation. This place, Corliss Landing, a perfect location to commit a homicide, no eyewitnesses. And talking about the police response, Matthew Kent, a young man who was running through that location, had he shown up an hour later, a lot of evidence would have been destroyed, because we had heard about the testimony about the rainstorm that came in. So the police respond and they make observations. Obviously there's a body, there's the tire tracks, and Captain Lorenzo tells you, sees that and immediately starts directing people going up away from the area. There were footprints down Swithers and Kent and Cambio. But that scene was then secured. You saw the police tape that was set up, there was a perimeter, and as the sky started to darken, efforts were made to preserve the integrity of that scene. Was it ideal? No. In that short window of time, what were they able to do? They were getting tarps. They covered up these areas that they observed and thought were important. Items were gathered. The hat, Oberlei's hat was gathered. The towel was gathered. Again, with gloved hands, the shell casings were gathered. And a lot was made of, we're putting all these shell casings in these envelopes, somehow that would have destroyed the integrity. That's not what the criminal said, or the DNA person. They said that it was a quantity limited, QLM sample. So all the swabs were taken together. And remember the DNA analyst, Diane Fife, she said there was actually DNA found if they go to the 4 stages, at the quantification stage, they did have DNA from these shell casings around the body of Oberoi. And then when they went to the amplification, there wasn't enough there for reading. So the idea that handler DNA, just getting to this issue of the gum, he said there was no documentation of the gum being on, there were photographs that were taken. It was clear that, remember the photographs, people holding it up in the gloved hand? Those two items are separated, and both DNA people, in terms of, there weren't any questions in the cross-examination, what questions did that person need to be asked? One, if you want to try and find out if there's DNA on the shell casing, what do you test? Shell casing. Two, could you ever tell us whether there was transfer or not transfer, whether handler DNA existed or whether it was transferred? No. Neither one could tell you that. So the suggestion that Diane Biagatti raised her eyes when, wouldn't you would have wanted to know that? Isn't this the same attorney who went on and on about confirmation bias? Well, why would she need to know? And I think I even asked her that question. Said, well, if you're testing, it's a straight test. It's either there or it's not. This suggestion somehow that this was going to be known in any other way than which it was known is inconsistent with the testimony that's before you. So let's start with what is known at the scene. The ballistic evidence. Shell casings are found, matched up to the same unknown gun. Why is the gun unknown? Is because there is evidence you could find that Shayana Jenkins took that gun out of the house. How could you find that? Gun goes in the house, watch the video. That gun never comes out and goes into the rental car, never leaves. So why is it that you couldn't conclude that gun in the house, the one he's parading around right after the homicide, the one that he has before the homicide, he's walking around like it's a trophy. Where did the gun go? They searched that house. You have evidence. He's the guy calling and saying, get rid of the box. And as I said to you before, if this box had so much marijuana in it, why is he trying to set up? That makes it more of a pretext that he's setting up over the law in the middle of the night and say, oh yeah, I got to come by and get that. He's with his other marijuana dealer, Robbie Oliveris in Providence. If he just needs some marijuana, he can get it from him. So the gun goes out in the box. And what's interesting about consider these two points in time. Shayana Jenkins running around in the middle of the night at his request to bring money to Wallace and Ortiz. And is it a coincidence when she comes out of this house with this bag and tells her sister, I'm going to get money for the maids? There's no money for the maids. We showed you the check. And she doesn't have any memory of where the box goes, what dumpster that box went. Is that credible? Your sister is in your home, in your living room. You go sneaking around the house, getting a trash bag, all because he's called you now from a different phone. He's now used a couple of different phones. He's breaking his phone down. He's making calls, different people on different phones. So he's calling her and saying, you've got to get rid of that. She then goes and collects a trash bag, goes down to the basement, and as much as she said, oh, I didn't look in it, she said there was some cardboard on top. How does she know there's individual boxes then underneath if she didn't look underneath that? And what causes her on her own to take her infant child clothing, put it on top? And now she's going to suggest, I smell marijuana. Didn't every witness that got on that stand when asked, was there any smell in the basement? Yeah, it smelled like marijuana. How would that be any different? So is it just a coincidence that she takes this bag, has zero memory of where the bag goes? Wouldn't that be something that a person would remember? That this day, the most unusual day probably in anybody's life, murder, your sister's upstairs, can I borrow your car? I then go down, put the box in it, cover it up, even though I don't know anything about what's going on. I know it's heavy. I then go out the back, the long way around the house, go to the car. I put it in there, I disappear, and I dump it somewhere in some random dumpster. And I didn't hit the ATM. And isn't that interesting? Take out $800, not for the maids. Why do you know that? Because there's a check written for the maids. Diapers and formula, take $800 out. So the gun in the house, he's got it in the house, in his hand after the homicide, and who would, after homicide, who would, walking around with a gun in his hand, like it was a trophy of some sort, keeping a gun in the house? You know who would? Aaron Hernandez would, because guess what? No one would ever believe it, right? Jury like yourself wouldn't believe he could do, he was involved in this, and so they come in, why would he do this? Why would he do this? That's what he's thinking. No one's going to think I had anything to do with it. I can keep the gun in my house. And what does he do to facilitate the joint venture? He gets him in the car, lies about tequila dispense, about what's happening there, brings these his Confederates home, and does he intent? One of those things about intent is the only way you can determine intent is really circumstantial behavior, other circumstantial evidence to determine what is in somebody's mind. What's the best evidence of his intent in terms of what he wanted to occur in this case? His actions, picking him up, Illinois, driving him directly to the scene, no clue. At one point, Mr. Fee was talking about, well, isn't it true there's a diner open in downtown Boston at 4 a.m.? There's no evidence that they were going to a diner. There's no evidence they went to a club. There was no reason to be at Corliss Landing at 3:25 in the morning. But the evidence on that video that shows you what is his intent when he comes back. Does he look upset when he gets out of the car? Is he, yelling at somebody, what did you do? Grab him, shake him? You just killed my friend? There's none of that. When he's sending them on the way after getting the rental car, now to facilitate their escape after serving them smoothies and having lunch with them and laying around the pool all afternoon and having them play with your baby, what is he doing? Fist pumps, hugs. Does that appear to be somebody who's upset about what's happened? That his friend is laying out in the field as he's breaking, as his skin begins to slip? Inconsistent. And ask yourself, why? Why were they there? What was the purpose of meeting? Okay, you're going to pick up. I need that, right? That was the text. I need that. Okay, hold up. Here we go. See you later. If you wanted it so badly, hey, meet us up here. Didn't happen. There was a reason it didn't happen. Because then he couldn't do what he wanted to do. And the evidence shows he drove him to that field with that knowledge and with that plan. There was no reason for him to be armed, and there was no reason for the other firearm to show up. Where does that show up? About 100, 200 yards away from the crime scene, the same firearm that gets shipped up in a Toyota. What about the fact that this is a Glock? Kyle Aspinwall said, that's a Glock. Relying on the judge's instruction and the evidence in the case, he said that's a Glock. You think he knows what a Glock is? He works for the company. He's a salesman. Does he sound like he knows firearms? They try and show him a couple of things, and no, that's not that. Can you rely on that testimony? But what other evidence do you have? Oh, it's a coincidence. February 2013, Bradley is down in West Palm Beach. They take a ride over to Belgrade. Guess who they meet up with? Papu. You know what Papu is? Bring his mother in here. Yeah. Aaron Hernandez had come to her house with her son at that time. And guess what he says? I see him with a gun. It appears to be a Glock. It has the two different types of materials. Isn't that what you observed? Isn't that what the testimony by Kyle Aspinwall said? So he has the means to have perpetrated the crime. He has the means before this, you heard guns all over the house from the housekeepers. Shayana in the junk drawer. The gun, or describe the gun. Color, same. Shape, same. And when it came to size, I'm not sure about size. As I'm holding the gun in front of her. Think she's going to, based on her credibility, you think she's going to admit that? He's got the gun. It's a .45 Glock. How do you know that? The projectiles have a certain rifling system. The shell casings have certain markings on them. 2 of the bullets are found in the ground, under the body. What does that say about intent to kill? And so then we come waltzing in with this PCP, the speculation that I'm suggesting you don't buy. Decide this case on the evidence. The evidence that you can follow, the evidence that you believe, the evidence you credit, the inferences from that. Not, oh yeah, maybe there was somebody, we heard there was a fox out there that night too. Maybe there was a fox hunter in the neighborhood. He ended up shooting Obermoy. Is there any evidence of that? Gina Mercado, right? Jennifer Mercado. Well, what did Jennifer Mercado say? Jennifer Mercado, she never said that before, and is it convenient? She was asked, this is not going back to the grand jury, 2 different occasions. Could you tell if they were high? Did they seem high that night? Answer, I didn't know because I wasn't that close to them. I was at the door. They were already at the car, so it was a little bit of distance. So I couldn't tell, like, what's the word, like, how they were acting. I couldn't see their face or their eyes or anything. Lo and behold, now she comes in, oh, there's a towel. Oh, yeah, I saw them with a towel wiping their face there. So, in response to a question by Mr. Rankin, were they sweating profusely? Oh, yeah, they're sweating profusely. Is that credible? The cousin of the defendant, now all of a sudden, does she have a motive to come in and change her testimony? And then she was asked, on a separate occasion, did you know whether they were consuming drugs that night? Answer, not sure. But you didn't have a specific occasion to get close enough to them or talk to them? Answer, no. To make an assessment? No. And then asked, well, with regard to any other information, she's asked at the grand jury, about Mr. Wallace or Mr. Ortiz regarding this matter, something we haven't covered, do you have any other information that you would understand would be appropriate to share with the grand jury, understanding their obligation to investigate this matter? No. And so now, on a thread of a lie, she comes in and is going to suggest to you people that PCP is in this case. Why? Because it gives this guy an excuse. It moves your attention. You get PCP or anything, oh, people are crazy, right? And then they bring in, or they offer Dr. Greenblatt 780 articles. Oh yeah, how many on PCP? I don't know. Don't remember? Well, you tell us. You're called in a case, a first-degree murder case, and you're asked, okay, we want to tell you about all my great credentials. 700, bless you. 780 articles that he's written. Not one on PCP. And number one, he's the editor. Okay, great. He's the editor of some magazine. Guess who actually published an article? Brecker, Dr. Brecker that we brought in. And he is going to then say to you that what Brecker wrote, that's not what he meant. Brecker comes in and says, that's what I meant. So where is PCP in this case? Why is it in this case? It's a distraction, and it's been manufactured by Jennifer Mercado. And it then picks up on those little pieces. Oh, there's a towel there. Let's say she, and yeah, the wiping of the face, the sweating profusely. You don't think she would have told us that 2 years ago when she was questioned 2 times, and when asked, tell us, is there anything else we need to know here? You don't think her motive and her interest in trying to get as much information to help him was as great then as it is now? Silence for her. Nope, don't know anything. So why is PCP in the case? To shift your focus to this behavior with his own child, if he thought for 1 minute that that child could have been in danger by handing it over to these two crazies, you think he would have done that? It's not credible. The DNA evidence puts him there, right? Is there any question about that on the blunt? He was smoking the blunt. His numbers were in the quadrillions. Okay, that's the, I believe it's 12 zeros behind it. Illinois, what was his? 1 point something million, okay? I asked Shania Jones when he would wrap it, what would he do? He would lick the blunt to seal it, okay? You know why Odin's DNA is on it. His major profile. Remember right where they did the cutting? Right where she said where you smoke it? I think, again, this idea of perfect murder, perfect place, nobody's going to think I did it. Leaving the marijuana cigarette, left his footprint there, didn't he? Left his tire print there, didn't he? Left the shell case. Remember the low cards rule exchange principle? Mr. Sullivan was questioning about every crime scene, something's left, something's taken. This seems no different. Ballistic evidence. Gun goes, you know that. Ballistic evidence left behind. Casings, projectiles. Guess what? One casing got taken with him under his seat. Because that's where he fired the gun, from the front seat. Electronic evidence. He takes his phone, he tries to delete his contacts with Logan Lloyd. Guess what? Logan Lloyd's phone's still there. Well, he really knew about the data, that there was data points being, when asked, well, why would he leave the cell phone? If he doesn't see him using the phone, how would he even know that there's these data points that are essentially outlining a trail all the way? And if that's true, why wouldn't one of these other guys grab the phone? Because I'm going to suggest to you, they brought him there. Think of the efficiency of this killing. You pull in at 324, and the way he drove in there, look at that video, how that car left John Beach in there, down, out of the car, boom, one shot from inside the car, then out of the car, boom, 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 back in the car, back out. But something's been taken, something's been left. The car, that leaves. The tire. The shell casing. And guess what? When they go and they speak to Kelly Smith, and she talks about the car, oh yeah, they brought the car back, you tell me about the mirror, the broken mirror, they go and they collect that tire. And guess what? His tire. At that scene. His DNA at that scene. That shell casing. The same markings to that same gun. The same gun that he's waltzing around the house with that disappears. Why did it disappear? Because he made it disappear. When we talk about control, who's in control? Who's in control of Willis? Who's in control of Carlos Ortiz? Who's in control of Shayanna Jenkins? Right? The fact that she's going to say, I put up with this, that's a choice apparently she makes. But he's controlling it. How do we know that? In the house, the police come knocking. They're there. Sure, criticize the police for what they did or what they didn't. You judge whether you thought their investigation was appropriate. They're at that door, they're not getting an answer. They just say, okay, let's go home. No, they sit out there. They outwait this guy. So he finally has to come to the door. And when he comes to the door, prior to coming to the door, they knock on the house, the flashlight upstairs. What does Shayanna Jenkins say? Don't go down and answer the door. Is that reasonable? You get the police outside, you get this sophisticated surveillance. He's watching them, and he knows it's the police. How do we know he knows it's the police? Because when he goes outside, they say, hey, we're Detective so-and-so. He says, oh, I know. I've been watching you guys on my surveillance system. He's avoiding trying to have any contact with him. He's telling Shayanna Jenkins, don't have any contact with him. So she doesn't. They then leave. The state, oh yeah, he said, I saw O up his way. That was a lie. He didn't see him up his way last night. He saw him over at Corliss Landing at 3:25 in the morning as he was shooting him to death. That was a lie. And it wasn't yesterday. It was early that morning. And so then, he goes, they take a ride down to the station. Shayana is going to drive him to the station with the baby. This is now approximately 11 o'clock at night. She says to him, hey, what's going on? What does he say? I don't know. Is that truthful? Is he using her to then do his bidding? Well, we know he is. Because when he gets down to the station, what does he do? Well, he's there to wait for somebody. He goes into a room. He lays down on the floor because he's Aaron Hernandez. Flicks out the light, and then he starts playing with his phone. And what does he do? He sends a text message to her. First he calls and says, get to Wallace, go get money. And then he sends a text message that's in evidence. And what does that text message say? Hey, you little box that AVL, their daughter, plays with in the tub? You know, the one behind the screen in the theater room? Geez, I was just thinking about that TV that got ruined. Wink, wink. What do you think that is? You saw it. You were at the house. We specifically walked you back and you had an opportunity to look at all that equipment. Electronic box. What's that? You've seen the box here. The DVR. What happens when the DVR goes into the tub of the water? What do you think he's trying to tell her? And so the question is, oh, geez, but he had time. He could have gone back. But that time the police were there. Remember the testimony about how long the DVR actually was, a day or two before it wrote itself? A lot of boxes there. She said she didn't know what he was talking about. So the box doesn't get ruined. Thankfully, that is then recovered and it now presents all the evidence of what was going on inside that home. He used her to do what he wanted to do, the cover-up. He planned it. He came up with the pretext of getting old Lloyd to meet him that night, and it didn't make any sense, the manner in which he met. Old Lloyd was supposed to be at work that morning. Remember Lauren Giroux? The most reliable employee guy who was always there before 7 a.m. He was riding his bike from Dorchester to get to Norwood to work as a landscaper. He was there. Guess what? The sun came up that morning. Old Lloyd's not there. He ends up saying, what happened today? Old Lloyd wouldn't be coming. Old Lloyd was going to be at work 7 a.m. The idea that he was going to get picked up at 3:30 in the morning and driven to this remote field, that wasn't Old Lloyd's choice. Old Lloyd would be at work. Think about, and I mentioned this before, just as with Jennifer Fortier, in the car, he's going to do what he wants. He's going to drive despite what Old Lloyd has to do. Think about calling, hey, we'll step out tonight, it's 9 o'clock. 2:30 in the morning, he finally shows up. Old Lloyd's drinking Red Bull to stay awake because he's got to get to work. He's got a car, though. No need for him to be waiting in Boston when he could have just met the defendant out in North Attleboro. You think he wanted him to bring the car out? Oh, so now, guess what? The car is in the yard at 10 Faison Street. And this defendant gets to suggest that we have one in the car, my boy O, right? You heard my boy O, my friend O, 32 times in the opening. Mr. Fee said his friend, his good friend. What is the evidence of friendship in this case? You know that car? He was doing him a favor. He didn't show up for breakfast with his mother, Shayana, and the child. And so Odin had to get back to Boston because he was trying to get to his niece's dance recital. Yeah, take the car. So now he's got the car. And it looks like there's some friendship here. What is the evidence of friendship? I asked Shayana Jenkins. They friends? When she testified to the grand jury, they were cordial. That's the same way she described her relationship with Odin Lloyd. They were cordial. I then had asked her, she had previously testified, not really sure what relationship they had. Shania, she testified they were just getting to know each other. They met in August 2009, remember the football game? And then, later on, now fast forward to December or to January, when Bradley's in the kitchen, does that sound like friends? He comes walking, he's holding his girlfriend's hand. Oh, the guy's not going to talk to me. Aaron Hernandez is not going to say hello to me. You think that's rude? Is that how friends act with each other? And then you ask yourself this. That time, February, March, April, there was testimony about when did they actually see each other? Shania said they saw each other 2 times in May, because remember, they're in California, and on the sister's birthday in June, and then rumor. That's 3 times. Look at the records, the phone records, from January to his death. The first phone call, 2,500 pages, June 6th. Does that sound like friends? Aren't friends people you want to talk to? The first text, June 12th. What are the text messages? It's all about marijuana. When can I come by and pick that up? It's not even friendly to him. It's all about him getting what he wants from Odin. That's the relationship. It's marijuana. Okay? He now knows that somebody else he can get marijuana when he needs that. The 12th, the 13th, and the 14th. And guess what? The 14th, remember I said at the start of this, he was coming by. He wanted to take it. He didn't say, let's go out to room, say, let's go hang out. He came by to pick up his marijuana. And he had Robbie Oliveris, so he jumped in and ended up going there. It wasn't a pre-planned outing with the 2 of them. Bradley, in terms of the friendship, what did he say about friendship? His words, it takes a long time for me to trust anyone. Don't want anyone knowing my business. It's exactly that, the relationship they had. He knew very little about his business. Zia Jenkins, remember the uncle of the Jenkins girls? He comes there, they go down to the basement, and he's talking about, this is, we just found out, old Lloyd has been not just dead, murdered. What's he talking about? When the endorsements are gone. I'm not talking about old. I asked over and over again, is he pure upset? No, he appeared fine, appeared normal. I asked the family, did he ever come by, send a card, stop in, no. Does that sound like a friend? What kind of friend are we talking about here? Remember Jeff London, the guy at he said, oh yeah, I saw Aaron Hernandez come up the street with 2 of his friends, and I said, well, wait a second. You know these guys from before? No, I figured, well, just because they were with him, they were his friends. Is that what this comes down to? That these guys are friends because they're with each other, because they have occasionally their sisters want to get together, and so the 2 of them have to spend some time. And Mr. Sullivan's, oh, these future brother-in-laws, of course they're friends. Who says that? Where's the evidence? That's what I'm imploring you to do, is follow the evidence. Not what they'd like to see or believe with the evidence, or because they know if they can suggest you over and over again, oh, they're friends, then of course you wind up with the idea of, well, why would he kill his friend? Look for that first fact. Were they friends? The evidence is totally inconsistent with that. Mark Briggs, remember the guy at the Patriots, the head of director of security? Well, he's like family to me. Really? Is that the guy who's laying out in the field, shot to death, and what are you doing? You're housing, you're feeding, you're entertaining, you're giving the escape route and money to the guys who just killed him? That's your family? Why is he saying that? Because it's a lie. He wants everyone to think, oh no, I wouldn't have killed him because I'm so close to him. The same thing that they're trying to suggest to you here. He wouldn't kill him. Why not? They weren't friends. There's no evidence they were friends. Look at the video. See, he said, Shania, you know, when he came in, we'll go over this in time. I've been through this. Give it to him or something like that. It's not upset. It's not, and then he's out the door. And guess what? He's out the door, and right before he's out the door, hey, to Chiana, the sweatshirt, he can wash some shirt. But guess what? Remember Lopard's rule, something left, something taken? That sweatshirt had something. And that something was what you heard about GSR. Gunshot residue. That goes out the door. That's never to be found. And in terms of just the credibility of the defendant's statements, at every stage, Keely Smith out the damage to the car, that was a false statement. Jerome Michael left the cell phone in the car. Total pretense to get into the car to get the gun. 2 times, Illinois gets to see this guy. First time, gun gets grabbed and brought back. Second time, he's in a field with 6 bullets in him. question Mr. Fee, so here's the guy saying, I'm sorry I didn't make it, I lost my phone, which is totally not true, as you can see from the records. And he's saying, but he apologized, he was a gentleman. He's a gentleman, he's lying to him about missing the appointment. Why is he missing the appointment? Because he's laying around the pool, soaking up the sun, drinking smoothies with his other two Confederates. He's a gentleman. And Robert Kraft, a false alibi, right? It's all in place. No one's ever going to believe it. I'm Aaron Hernandez, no one's going to believe it. I was at a club, and why would I do this? The guy who's done everything to make a joint venture successful. Set it up. He's the one with the relationship. He's the one with the pretext. He's the one with the car. He's got the marijuana relationship. He's the guy who had this issue at Rumor 2 nights before. Not Wallace, not Ortiz. These guys will do whatever he wants. He's the guy who has no intention of going out. That's evidenced by the fact they don't go out. They don't go to a club, step out. Again, what else is step out? Go get a drink somewhere? They don't do that. They drive to the theater. There's no bar there. There's no dancing. There's no girls there. He drives them. He's the guy with the Glock. He's the one who's previously had Wallace and Ortiz do what he wants, when he wants it. Look at the tenor of those text messages about how quickly it turned to get your ass up here. And ask yourself, when they drove to the South Street Cafe, it took them 25, 30 minutes. The way back, when a trooper measured it, to get there in the time, and you can look at the time from their seat to the time they get back, 20 minutes, doing 80 miles an hour. And then the behavior when he arrives, jumps out of the car, door open, gun in his hand, and right over to his friends, who don't appear to be somewhat surprised to see the gun in the hand. They know what the purpose is. We saw them how they were engaged during the course of around the car. They were moving things around, they're getting prepared, putting clothes on, and then they're in the house, and now they've been armed, and everyone's going out because they know what's going to happen. The defendant controlled every aspect of that trip. He drove it. He knew where to go, how to pick him up. He had the number, and again, he's the one using now Wallace's phone, so he doesn't have to use his own phone. First time, 22-hour period, he doesn't use his phone. And they're going to suggest to you, like they've done, like he's done in the past, oh, he lost the phone. He tells McDonough he got a new phone. That's just a plain lie. Why is he lying about that? That he's lost his phone, he had to get a new one. Why don't you say I misplaced it? Because it's not true. He deliberately didn't use his phone, so it couldn't come back to him. He's the one with the knowledge of the location. He's the one who then controls the time of the killing outside the car, back in the car, driving from the scene back home, and then effectuates the plan for the escape. Let's talk about motive. If you strike away, which is what I'm going to respectfully suggest to you is the evidence in this case, they're not friends. This is a relationship built solely on their connection, dating sisters. And that doesn't mean they wouldn't be friends if they saw each other, how you doing, hang, go shooting in the pool, smoke a marijuana cigarette. Friendship. Whether there was any friendship there. Read the text messages and the tone and the tenor. When he wanted something, it was just all about, I want to come by and get this. I'm going to swing by. And it was always on his time. How close do you want to get there? And look at the text message that night as they're going in. The vagueness of it. About, we're going to step out. I'll figure it out when we get there. And look at the reluctance by Odin Lloyd. I don't know what anything's really going on. Well, I'll figure it out.
Yes, you wrap up in 5 minutes.
Thank you. So with that relationship of striking away, there's no friendship here, and asking yourself about this trust and his reluctance to trust somebody based on his statements to Bradley and the secrecy that he's attempted to preserve, And what happens at rumor? Again, we know something happened that caused him to be upset enough to go and get a gun. Now, in terms of the significance of that, there was a look, whether it was a slight, whether Aaron Lloyd wasn't grateful to be spending the time, and therefore he took offense to that, it related to Aaron Lloyd. And as a result of that, he ultimately gets a gun and responds to that corner. The text message is not a coincidence that he sends it the next day, and he's now suggesting that he's done something that he regrets. He's told him of the spot, and he wakes up bugging. And I want you to consider everything after that, from that point forward, all his behavior, all these phone calls, Wallace and the T say, we're on our way. And there's 16 calls that are going back and forth, now not on his number, on Shannon Jenkins. What are they talking about? When you see them arrive, watch that video and look at it to see if there's a common purpose before they ever actually even get together. And once they get together, the way they move, and if they just want to step out, why are they grabbing all these other things? It's unnecessary if they're just going to. The defendant had a motive in this case to kill him. Whether it was a good motive or a bad motive, he believed he could kill Odin Lloyd and nobody would ever believe that he was involved. I'm asking you to look at the evidence. The evidence tells the story of what happened. Circumstantial evidence, yes, there were no eyewitnesses. There was other evidence that is strong evidence that should convince you beyond a reasonable doubt he committed that crime. And with regards to your duty, we're asking for a fair verdict in this case. Not a favorable one to the defendant, not a favorable one to the Commonwealth. A fair verdict based on evidence, one that is supported by a full deliberation, discussing and finding the facts, and applying that to the law. And at the end of the case, I'm going to suggest to you, if you do that verdict will be to find the defendant guilty, first-degree murder for the killing of Odin Lloyd. We could not ask anything more of a jury, but we should expect nothing less.